Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, D squared here, and this is D squared 1 and 2. Okay. We're gonna start a little series called "This Is Real Life," and we think the good reason for doing this is to actually share life with people and help them maybe through struggles that they're going through, right?
To talk about things that not everybody always talks about.
Those things that your parents didn't teach you, or a school teacher didn't teach you, you know, just things that you just don't know about life when you go into it, right? So, yeah, and this was kind of really encouraged, or really, I felt a calling to do this because of my faith and some of the things that we're walking through right now with our education and our faith. And so, a couple of disclaimers here. I'm going to have a little sheet like this each time we do it so that I can try and stay on track so it doesn't go off on too many tangents. And so Shannon doesn't go off on too many tangents. Because we will, and that's okay. Some people will watch this, maybe nobody will ever watch it. Don't know. But maybe it'll reach somebody and it'll be able to help somebody one day. So, for me, and I think for both of us, neither one of us are clergy members, or what do they call that when they seminary trained. So our knowledge of the Bible and our faith is what we learn through church and what we learn through studying the Bible with other Christians. And so yes, we're Christians. We'll throw that out there. We believe in Jesus Christ. But we're not here to start like a religious debate. We're not here to argue about faith and religion. We're just basing, not basing, what's the word I'm looking for?
Going off of how we go through things, and how we go through things is with our faith. So if you have a different experience with a different faith, awesome. What everybody will hear are different ways to get through the struggles that we are going through. So if you have a comment, then put it out there, and hopefully it'll reach somebody if we don't get to them.
And one of the things that we respect, there are many different faiths in the world. You know, there's obviously Christianity, and then inside of Christianity there's all kinds of different religions, as people break it down as, you know, there's Catholic, there's, you know, Apostolic, there's Protestant, there's Baptist, there's, you know, those are your Christian religions, and if I left somebody out, I'm sorry. But then you have, you know, you have Islam. You have people that are, you know, they believe in the devil, you know, they worship the devil. But that's what they believe, and we're not here to talk about that. We're not going to be here to refute that. That's not what this is about. You know, so yeah, we're not here to talk about the past, you know, Christian crusades, jihads, you know, antichrist movements, anything like that. That's not what we're here to talk about. So if you feel like you have to make those comments, please do so respectfully of other people's opinions. And, you know, maybe it'll start a good conversation. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe somebody else will learn something. So that's what we're here to do. You know, it's all about learning. So we're calling it "This Is Real Life." There is a series on CNN called "This Is Life." And I don't know who the news anchor is that does it, but she talks about some extremes around the world. Child slavery, you know, poverty that's going on in third world nations. What else? Dictatorships that are going on in the Middle East and things like that. And while those are real world issues that you should be aware of, a lot of people that are going to be watching this are not going to be dealing with child slavery, sex trafficking, you know, dictatorships. You might be, depending on where you're at in the world, and hopefully this encourages you to maybe get through those things, or maybe you have experienced human trafficking and you can share that story with people and maybe how you beat it, you know. And that's kind of part of what we eventually want to bring in, is other people that want to come in and share their stories about how they got through things and, you know, just their experiences. Because really what we found out through a lot of our experiences is that we never knew people that experienced things like we did until we experienced it. Then it was like people came out of the woodwork, right? So that's why we're kind of trying to put this out there. And we talked about, you know, some of those circumstances that we're never going to experience, like the extremes. So we call it This Is Real Life. Hopefully we won't get in trouble for copyright infringement or anything like that, but I'm sure if we do, they'll let us know, right? So, like we said, a lot of things that we experience in life, we're not taught by teachers, we're not taught by our parents, we're not taught, sometimes our closest friends or mentors don't teach us these things either. It's a deep, hidden secret until it happens to you. I'll throw one out real quick. Miscarriage, right? That's not something they talk about in school. That's not something they talk about in, what's that class?
Sex ed.
Sex ed or health class. They don't talk about miscarriages.
Talk about how you can get.
They talk about, yeah.
They don't talk about all of the things that's around that.
Yeah, they just tell you, like, oh, yeah, if you have sex when you're 14, you're going to get pregnant. Like,
It's possible.
It's possible. But let's talk about all the bad stuff that could happen, too. So, let's talk about it, but let's educate. Like, hey, things happen once you get pregnant, People go through mood changes. People don't know how to respond. Things like that. We're going to talk about those happy things, too. About, hey, I'm pregnant. Like, a lot of guys, we don't know how to respond. Some guys are overly elated, and, you see all this stuff on TV and YouTube all the time, and you never see the guy that goes, what? Oops. You never see that. That's me. So,
Which time?
What?
Which time?
Which time? We're going to talk about loss, sorrow, disappointment, and the many different shapes and realities and reactions that it actually comes in, and chances are someone has experienced what you're going through. Or somebody that's going through something that somebody else has experienced it. You're not the first person in the world. So, unless you're like Neil Armstrong or, I don't know, somebody that broke a land speed record, like, okay, you're the one person in the world that's done that. Good job. And, of course, we're going to use a lot of biblical references to help talk about how we got through things, how we turn to our faith to help us get through things. Are we saying that you have to turn to faith? No. We're encouraging you to, but you don't have to. It's just not for everybody. And we're going to be sharing things about great things in life too, because we've experienced a lot of positive moments in life, and we've experienced negative moments. But it's not just all about negative moments, and we're not here just to be negative Nancy. Sorry if your name's Nancy, but that's just a saying that I use.
Sometimes you don't know how to react to good moments.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't know how to respond, right? Like I'm pregnant, like, oh, that's not how you respond. Well, it's not how you should respond. Yeah, so we'll talk about marriage, childbirth, graduations, major personal accomplishments, graduating from college when you're 60 years old. Like, that's a major personal accomplishment. And some people might say, why'd you wait so long? Because life got in the way. And that's what this is about. Life comes in ebbs and flows, and we're going to talk about all of that stuff. We're going to share our personal experiences. And quite frankly, Shannon will vouch for me, I'm pretty open, so I don't really hide anything.
There's no sugarcoating.
There's no sugarcoating. I
add the sugar.
Yeah, it's my sweetness over there. And so, kind of like on the last thing here, just from this introduction, is we've been through a lot as a couple and individually in life. We've experienced many great things, heartbreak, and things like that. It just we don't consider ourselves to be the end all be all or know all be all. It's know all be all. We haven't experienced everything in life, but we've experienced a lot. And so we're going to share that with you guys. We're going to share some happy things. We're going to share vacations with you guys, whether you like it or not. And I already talked about it, but we're also hoping to invite other people in. Well, there are so many people in our life right now who have encouraging stories. And I don't want to rain on their parade, and I don't want to take away from them, but they do have great encouraging stories about tough things that they've walked through, and just amazing outlooks on how they got through things. So we're hoping that we can get this done every weekend. We can talk about things, and it's going to start off a little slow because we're going to talk about some past experiences before we ever get to the current things that we're going through. Because right now in our walk of life, we're experiencing some change, aren't we? We're experiencing some trials, and so we are just we're in the middle of life, real life. And so, as I said already, it's about sharing. If you have something that you want to share and you think might be valuable to other people, please leave it in the comments below and share your story. If you're stuck in the middle of something and you're just looking for someone to talk to, share it in the comments below. I'm sure somebody will be there to listen. Almost a licensed clinical social worker over there, so be kind of careful with that. I get a lot of therapy every week, so.
I never analyze you.
But it's a good thing, though. I actually have 2 professional therapists, a psychiatrist, and then someone who fills in the blanks all the time. And so I guess one of the things that we'll talk about before we close this out is that right now we're trying to figure out what's going on in life with me as far as, I'm going to say just mental health, right? Right now I kind of have, would you classify it as severe mood swings?
Yes.
Severe mood swings.
Definitely have mood swings.
Where I'll ride a high for a long time. And you'll see us hollering at the dog a lot because she'll be here, so sorry. I ride a high a lot, and then I'll ride a low for a long time. And right now it's kind of looking a little bipolar-ish, but we're not real sure. We're trying to figure it out. So I'm on like 3 different kinds of medication just for that alone. And I'm trying to figure out how to manage it as an adult, because adulting just is not fun sometimes. But without medications, we found that I don't do well. So that's one of the things that we're going through in life right now. And that's just one of the things that we hope to talk to you and share with you eventually more, and kind of let you go on this ride with us and see that, for those of you that are experiencing like depression, there's a lot of us out there, a lot of us out there. So just, if you are experiencing stuff like that, just know that you're not alone, and there is somebody that can either relate or just listen, because sometimes I think that's what we really just need, is someone just to listen. You go in for therapy and a therapist wants to tell you like, hey, you should try this, this, and this. Like, I really just want you to listen. I really just want to cry today and moan and complain, and that's going to make me feel better today. But that only works some days. You need ways to cope with things and to learn how to live with them and manage them so that you can actually enjoy life and enjoy a real life, And life is not meant to be dark, dreary, unhappy. It's meant to be positive, And that's my ray of light sitting over there. That's sunshines and rainbows and Mai Tais and cocktails all the time.
Mai Tais and cocktails, just sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah. Occasional Corona with lime.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So, that's what the series is about. Leave your comments below. Tell us what you guys think, whether we should be doing it together or not. Maybe sometimes we'll just break it up and do a men and a women's type thing. We will obviously include our children because they're 12 and 8. That means they're the smartest people in the world right now. And many of you know what that means. And if you're thinking about having kids, just remember when they get to a certain age, they know everything. Anything else?
Now you pretty covered it.
I talk a lot. And I think that's
It's
why
usually me, which is weird.
And I think that's why it'll be good to have both of us, because hopefully we'll try to balance each other out. So, you guys don't, well, obviously they don't have any questions because it's not a live feed, right?
Not a live feed.
Maybe we'll get to a live feed eventually one day. Maybe not. This may not do anything, but this is what I feel like I'm being told to do right now. Because I pray about this, and this is what I feel like God is telling me to do right now. So, again, if you got anything to add to it, or any ideas on maybe topics that we should discuss, or maybe if you want to come and talk already, let us know. We're in the Southern California area, but I'm sure we can work anything out just about anywhere in California, Arizona. Yeah, send us a video. We'll check it out, and we'll share it. Yeah, anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Dinner.
It's dinner time. D squared out.